welcome back to Daytime, everyone. Ramzi Karim is here. He's the author of How to Master the Art of Interviewing. All you need to know to increase your hiring power. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Ramzi, a pleasure to have you. A very timely piece because a lot of people right now are between jobs. They're
Yes.
going to those job interviews.
Yeah.
I mean, how do people sort of get themselves ready to partake in what could be a very important next step of their life?
It is really actually amazing when you do a lot of interviews, you see people when you come to the interview, the preparation is really lacking in a lot of people, and preparation is the key to be successful in a good interview. And if you're not prepared, then you're not going to really get that job that you're looking for. So in the book I talk about really A to Z how to prepare from your resume, your cover letters, and all the skills that you need to do, and how to answer the question when somebody asks you about tough question in an interview. So it is all encompassed about the interview process.
How did you come up with all the information from this book? Was it just based on personal experience, and you had done hundreds of thousands of interviews? You just thought, I'm going to write a book about it now.
It's actually, I've been doing interviews and hiring people for over 20 years. So, and I've seen a lot of good people don't get the job because for simple reasons. And I decided to share my experience, put it in a book where I can help people maybe overcome the situations.
Yeah, because it's almost not fair, right? You could be a great laborer,
absolutely,
but not have the best interviewing skills and drop the ball. I mean, there's typically the same 5 or 10 interview questions I feel like get asked every time.
Yes.
Should people be aware of those questions?
Definitely. And some of the main question is that one of the key ones, tell me about yourself. When somebody asks a question about that, you see a lot of people freeze because they don't know what to say. You know? So it is, or some people go and take 20 minutes to tell about themselves, which is not what you want to do. So you have to really be careful about how you answer a question like that. The other one, tell me about your weaknesses. Some people say, well, I don't have a weakness.
I'm perfect.
Perfect. Well, nobody's perfect. So, and then, or some people say things that really walks them right out of the interview because they're saying things that they shouldn't be saying. So these are some of the common questions. Or question about situational question where, tell me about something you did that, what was the result of, what was the outcome, which in the book I talk about, which is called the STAR method, where you talk about situation, task, and action and a result, what you did in that. So in things like that, it was really important that you rehearse it. If you don't rehearse, it's not going to be very natural when you talk about it.
One of the sections that you have here in the book, which I like, is about using action words. So words like achieved, awarded, improvised, negotiated, honed. You know, these are all words that you can use to your advantage.
That's right. A lot of people put their resume and tells what they have done, but really they don't show what they have achieved. And by putting some of these keywords in it, you're going to be able to show for the employer that's looking that what you have done, what you are all about, what was the result, how you benefited the company in your working there, so that you can bring that experience to this new company.
Yeah, Ramzi, I always judge a man by who believes in him.
Yes.
Brian Tracy, huge author, maybe one of the biggest authors of all time when it comes to nonfiction, has endorsed your book. What does that sort of mean to you, knowing that someone on his level believes in what you're saying?
Truly, when Brian endorsed me, I almost fell on my chair because I really couldn't, get any better author to acknowledge it. And Brian is a big authority, and it just shows that the material in the book is fantastic. That it will help anybody. It doesn't matter whether you're a high school kid or you're an experienced person, you or between job changes. It can help anybody in getting the job done for you.
So parents can actually introduce this book and this guide to teenagers, because there is a time where the teenager is applying to their first job and really has no experience, but that first meeting must be crucial for them.
It is, and I think in the book I have designated a chapter just about that, advice to parents, which I took about the concept, I call it peace process. So which means that you really have to work on preparing your kid and how to advise them and how to encourage them and how to challenge them and then evaluate them, because nothing is more affecting a person when they go to an interview. After a couple of interviews, they don't get the job, then their self-confidence becomes really very weak. And as a parent, you have to be watching for that and what you need to do to change that so that when they go to an interview, they don't have that situation.
Yeah, what about the dress? Because so often teenagers show up to the interviews and they're wearing what they believe to be very nice clothes, and yet might not be exactly what the interviewer is looking for.
Very good question, Jeff, because again, we have a chapter in there about dress code in there. It is very important that when you come in, don't come dressed up and I suggest that you go and visit the place before you go and apply for a job and see what's people dressed up like that. Or what is their company policy is, and ask some question from the employees. So when you have that, when you go to give your resume or your application, you dressed up properly. So the first impression, as they say, is everything, and definitely giving your application is and your resume is the key when people are going to see whether you're going to fit in the environment or not.
Yeah. At the end of a job interview, a lot of employers will say, do you have any questions? Do you have any questions for me or any questions about the job position? And a lot of people say, nope. I'm okay. Is that a mistake?
It is a mistake because, you know, it just shows that either you're not prepared for the interview or you don't know anything about the company. Now, some people just ask questions like, okay, well, what's your benefit plan? These are not the right questions. You want to ask questions.
How much time vacation will I have?
Exactly. Exactly. You want to ask questions about what is the company philosophy, how is their environmental plans are, what is they have done for the community. Question that is going to be that it shows that you know the company, you studied them, and that you care about working the company because they want to know why you want to work there. If the question you ask is going to show whether you are really serious and sincere about working with that company.
Yeah, I mean, playing off that, your body language, I mean, your body speaks more than your words usually do. How do you make sure that when you're in the interview, you're doing the proper things with your body?
Good, again, excellent question, because when you challenge someone in an interview, you're going to see that either their hand get crossed, which means they're getting defensive, or they start not looking at you in the eye. They start their shifting, so which means that they either are not listening to you, or they don't know how to answer the question, or what they're saying to you, it is not them. Because if they're sincere, it will come across as sincere, and will be no eye shifting, will be focusing on you, and you will not have defensive gesture or, you know, having
the old head scratch.
Exactly, nervousness. But definitely it is important part. And as an interview, we really look for that, because when you ask a tough question, you're going to really see the true color of the person.
How do you calm those nerves? You're going into an interview. Of course, you're going to be nervous for this, but how do you sort of minimize that and go in with confidence?
My key is preparation. If you're not prepared, you really have to prepare. And by preparing, what I mean is that you really have to do mock interview questions, so that the question that you think is tough one, you have to answer them and read them loud to yourself, or get somebody to listen to what you have to say. And when you do that, then the confidence automatically comes from within.
My suggestion here is you have a chapter which is the 30 most common asked interview questions. Get a buddy and go over the questions together.
That's great.
Yeah, it's absolutely excellent, because those questions are the most common one that really stops you on your track. So it is a question that the answers are there for you, and then you can use it to make it part of yourself. So you can get that, expand on it, and really makes your nervous system, as you said, is
exactly
really cool.
Keeps it in check. In addition to this book, you also do counseling and coaching for people who are going into interviews.
That's right. I do one-on-one coaching online or on person individually, because I think that is one of the key things. If people having nervousness, as you said, then having that one-on-one, we go simulate the interview situation, and we actually rehearse the questions, and then see how the person is doing,
and they are ready.
Language. Exactly. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. We're going to give a copy of this book away at the end of the show. You can also go to the website masterinterviews.com. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.